Listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. This is the CAHF Music and Memory Project Orientation webinar that you're on today. My name is, advance the slide here. My name is Amanda Davidson. I'm the Music and Memory Program Coordinator here at CAHF. I've talked to many of you, so I'm so thrilled that you're on the webinar today. So thanks for being on, and we do have a ton of information to go over, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to mention is, as you know, this webinar is mandatory for your authorized representative, your primary lead, and your alternate lead. So really, really important that you email me at the email address on your screen there with attendance. I know that some of you just registered, one person registered, and you've got several people watching the webinar today. So really important that you email me, adavidson@cahf.org, and let me know who is in attendance, and that way we can be sure that you get credit for attending today. And I'll put my email up at the end too, and send another reminder to shoot me your attendance list. So this is a 90-minute webinar. We do have time for questions allotted at the end. We've got about 20 minutes set aside. If you have questions as we go ahead and just type them into the chat bar, because we don't want you to forget them. They'll just sit there and they'll hang out till the end, and then we'll be able to answer them. You can ask questions of any of our panelists. You can ask questions about the project. Any questions that you may have, we are here to answer them, and we want to answer them. So please, please, please ask your questions. We're here to help. We've got some handouts. If you look to the right-hand side of your screen, I believe that's where they are. Under the handout section, you'll see 4 handouts. You're going to see the PDF of today's webinar, the slides. Those are there, as is the participation agreement, which I'm sure almost all of you have filled out already. You're also going to find the brochure, the project brochure, and then also the Preparing for Music and Memory Certification Guide. Now, you may find it helpful to open that participation agreement, click on it, download it, open it, have it in front of you, whether you print it out or just have it up on your screen, because a lot of the information that we cover today is going to be in that participation agreement. So it might be a good idea to just have it in front of you and then follow along. All 4 of these handouts are available on the CAHF website. So if you don't access them here, you can go to the CAHF website and find them. And that website is CAHF.org, just CAHF.org. We're going to have some participation polls throughout the webinar. There's going to be 3 of them. They're really easy questions. They're yes or no questions. What will happen is we'll open up the poll. It'll come up on your screen, the question, and then with your mouse, you're just going to go ahead and click on the answer that you would like to answer with. And again, they're yes or no questions, super easy. So just be on the lookout. There'll be 3 of those throughout the webinar today. I think that is it as far as housekeeping goes. So with that, I want to have our panelists introduce themselves, and we'll start with Letitia Rogers with Music and Memory. Are you there?
Hi, sorry. Yep, I had to unmute. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. I'm Letitia Rogers. I'm with Music and Memory, the National Music and Memory Program, and I'm the Regional Director for the Western U.S. I'm based in San Diego, and I'm happy to be here today. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. This is Jocelyn Montgomery, and I'm the Director of Clinical Affairs here at CAHF, and I oversee the Music and Memory Project.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deb Bakurjian. I am the Principal Investigator for the research component from UC Davis.
And hi again. This is Amanda Davidson, and I am the CAHF Music and Memory Program Coordinator. So thank you so much to all of our panelists for being on today. We greatly appreciate it. Real quick, I'd just like each of our panelists to, now that you know who they are, now that they've introduced yourself, to have them take an opportunity and just tell you the role of their organization within this project. And again, we'll start with Letitia Rogers with Music in Memory.
Yes, hi again. So just real quick, I'm with the National Music and Memory Organization. CAHF is part of this, doing a project with us. We provide the certification training and program support and resources.
And I am Jocelyn, and CAHF has a project that is funded to bring the national music and memory training and the model of music and memory to skilled nursing facilities in California. So we work through the National Music and Memory program, but we are our own distinct project here in California.
And UC Davis has been contracted by CAHF to actually study the results, the processes and the outcomes of the project itself. And I'll talk a lot more about that when it comes to my presentation, but we are actually the research arm of this overall project.
Thank you, all of our panelists. Thank you very much. So next we have, we're going to start with a video. Excuse me. And I'll have Letitia Rogers with Music and Memory introduce this video because it was created by Music and Memory. Take it away, Letitia.
And really quickly, we wanted to get some feedback and some sharing from leadership, from individuals who are really doing this program. And so this is something we put together, this series of testimonials from leaders, nursing home leaders who have successfully implemented music and memory. We feel in a way that really unleashes its full potential for residents. So wanted you to hear from some peers aside from hearing from me. So here we go.
Thank you. And this is called Leadership, Get the Music and Memory Advantage. The YouTube link is on the bottom. If you want to go back and view the video, you can see it on YouTube. But we will go ahead and, oops, and play it today. Oops, sorry everybody, try that again. One more time.
I can't think of any other program that has been able to be put in place that has impact on the whole facility, not just one department, not just one individual, that actually can cause that paradigm shift that every administrator loves to see.
Music and Memory program is giving us a competitive edge, and this is a competitive environment, and you have to stay above your competitors.
Music and Memory has helped with family satisfaction because when families come in and they see their loved one in a mood state or more alert or able to converse, they just feel the whole program. They're buying into it when they see the results.
We had such a good response from families. And what they said is that it really identified for them what Music and Memory was because it spurred their own reminiscing, their own emotional connections, and they were all sharing their own stories.
To actually witness the residents with the Music and Memory, you could see the joy on their faces.
When you can make a resident happy and laugh, that affects the staff as well. They can share that moment with them. Then that makes more bonding between the staff and the residents, which ultimately makes everybody happy.
Staff begin to know their residents on a more personal level. And knowing the resident well can help reduce the use of psychotropic medications and improve the quality of life of the resident. Just by putting a little bit of music on, it just calms them, it soothes them, it makes them feel a lot more comfortable when the staff comes in to do rounds on them.
You have a more peaceful, acceptable process that is humanizing and appreciated.
if you are looking for a way to improve the quality of your building, Music in Memory is just such a beautiful way to do that. It's fun. You'll see the joy that it brings to your staff, your families, your residents.
This particular program has value. It will give your staff the time they need. It will give you your quality, patient-centered care. It will give you successes. It will reduce your antipsychotic rate. It will make you feel good and want to come to work tomorrow.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Letitia Rogers with Music in Memory.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. And thanks for watching that. So just quickly today, I'm going to go over with you what Music Memory is, how it differs from other programs, what makes it successful, talk a little bit more about some benefits for individuals and staff. I'll also touch on the national certification training and what Music in Memory provides to certified organizations, and also how to make the most of the training going forward. I'm not sure I have control of the screen yet. Hold on.
I'll try it again for you, Letitia. Try, oops. Try now.
Wait a second.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. It kind of has a little bit of a lag to it, so we'll get there, I promise.
Worked in rehearsal. Nothing yet.
Try one more time, and then I'll just advance them for you.
Thank you.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Hold on. Technical difficulties. So Music in Memory, what are we? What are we about? We seek to improve quality of life for the elderly or infirm by providing personalized music through digital music technology. We want to enable those struggling with Alzheimer's, dementia, and all kinds of other cognitive physical challenges to reconnect with the world and their individual histories through music-triggered memories. What we do is we certify and train care organization staff as well as family caregivers to offer the program to those they care for using inexpensive and readily available technology. Now, we already know that music is a recreational activity, sometimes a central activity in long-term care. Because it's group-based, though, music availability is time-limited and song selection is age-appropriate and not person-specific. So Music in Memory addresses these limitations by going beyond genres or beyond eras to the favorite music by favorite artists, so offering greater benefits to the individuals. We're finding that the songs that really are meaningful to an individual, those are the ones that really connect. So what we want to do is establish a new best practice and gold standard of care in the industry. We want people to have the music that's meaningful to them and helpful to them, just like anything else that they get. So with the technology that we have now, we're able to bring this music and this gift to anyone, regardless of their level of impairment. Even those individuals who are bedbound have an equal opportunity to participate and share in the music. This little technology, little tiny iPod shuffles, mean the program can go virtually anywhere and be available 24/7 when it can best be helpful. So a little bit of the background. This is our founder, Dan Cohen. He started the program Music in Memory with a simple idea that if he found himself in a nursing home one of these days, he wanted to be able to listen to his favorite 60s music. He started volunteering and was curious, is anyone putting personalized music together for individuals? And he'd heard about iPods and how iPods were everywhere, I think back in about 2005, 2006. Is anyone using these little iPods that can hold all your favorite music in long-term care. He started researching and didn't really find any programs, so he started doing it himself, started making playlists at a nursing home in Greater New York, and saw great results. He kind of kept at it. He got some more funding and took 200 iPods to residents of 4 long-term care facilities, and he tested the program on a larger scale, and successful outcomes spurred the creation of Music and Memory as a 501c3 nonprofit in 2010. And since then, where Dan started in one nursing home, I have to update my slide, I keep saying this, we're now at nearly 3,800 certified programs, music and memory programs. We're in all 50 states and 8 countries. Music and memory has grown from being used in nursing homes to hospitals, hospice, veterans homes, for palliative care, adult day, and a variety of other settings. So in addition, let's see, 19 states now in the U.S. have rolled out or are rolling out large music and memory projects, either from the state health department or a healthcare association like California. Wisconsin was one of the first. And California, this project has actually become a benchmark for several elements of rolling out large projects. So it's a good one to be involved with. What we talk about is the importance of the individual song, not going beyond those assumptions of, oh, they're this age, they'll like that, we'll play this. Now we want to get down to the song that's really meaningful, the version of the song by the person that you love it by. We want to be able to reach someone's culture, someone's history, someone's language, someone's life story. So music is linked to our emotions and stored in extremely close proximity to the part of the brain that stores long-term memory. And this happens to be the last part of the brain affected by Alzheimer's and other dementias. So while we may not recognize loved ones or be able to communicate as we want, chances are that our favorite music will always be with us. And studies are showing that more brain neurons are fired if we hear the preferred song, so more function is realized. So we saw in the video some of the benefits to the individual. This is Miss Pauline and her daughter. She says, "Thank you for giving me my music. It's the greatest gift I've ever received." And her favorite song was Kenny Rogers' Islands in the Stream. So touching on what was in the video, we know that music can bring joy and enhance quality of life. We can increase communication and social engagement. Meaningful music can restore identity and personhood, maybe even for just a short time, but what a beautiful time. We have something that's wonderful and meaningful to offset boredom, isolation, pain, depression, stimulate participation in activities, speech and physical therapies. We also have an alternative to antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and antipsychotic medications. Music is a pretty fantastic non-pharmacological intervention. In addition to that, we can offer a distraction during medical treatments such as dialysis and chemotherapy. We see this used with Parkinson's, brain injury, stroke victims. We can incorporate music into lessening perception of pain. And we also have a really great tool for reducing agitation and Alzheimer's-related sundowning. As Dan says, if a pill could do this, every doctor would prescribe it and every family would want it. So while filling the days of our residents with purpose and fulfilling activity, the likelihood for the need of an antipsychotic goes down. So music can help. I know a facility that had a sign at their med cards that read music before meds. I know another place that has had results switching Ativan for an iPod to reduce anxiety for their residents going to the dentist. And the good thing is you can't overdose on music, although I think I may have tried a time or two. So not just for the individual, but this is a great program, can be a great program for staff. This is Keisha, and this is actually Tony, who's I think this is his 300th dialysis session. And she has a great voice, so she comes and sings songs to him. They find new songs to put on his playlist, and he will not be missing out on his iPod, so they made sure it's charged and can take it with him. And here's a moment that they're sharing together. So who's involved? This really brings everyone in. We've got residents, nursing, social work, mental health, housekeeping, medicine, rehab, dietary, psychiatry. Like I'll say the first place I volunteered before I started working with Music and Memory, the program was actually run by their dietary director. She was the one who went, I believe in this, I'm taking it on. So don't think too small in who can be involved. Activities, music therapy, bring music therapy in. They are so great to partner with. Really, really powerful. They can really help you deepen a program and expand it. And administrators, family councils, student volunteers, and I'll cover a little more of this later. What we've got is a great opportunity for intergenerational activity. There are high schools adopting nursing homes, universities creating music and memory student groups, nursing and gerontology students getting involved, like in Texas. So this is a really great opportunity, and also for other seniors, active seniors. You see on the top right there, they are proficient in song selection for their peers and interested and would like to be helpful. Kevin Coughlin, who's one of the policy initiative advisor in Wisconsin, who's, as I said, they were the first state to do this on a large scale. And he said, it's the best thing I've done in my public service career. So what is it? How do we work? Music and Memory, what we do, national program, is we provide training, which I'll cover on the next slide. We don't provide equipment. We help secure discounted equipment, although I'm not going to cover that too much of that because participating in this grant, you'll get equipment. Music and Memory, we certify you, so you'll have Music and Memory certification. You'll be on our website. So people who hear about the program or who are looking for a place for their loved one can find you via our website and see that you've made a commitment to person-centered care and using innovative solutions. We help with volunteer engagement. Once you're on our website, if you want to be open to volunteers, you let us know and we click that off on the website and people can search that way. Because I'll tell you, people find out about this program, and I've actually had 3 phone calls in the last week with people in California who said, I've heard about this, I'm so passionate, this is my background, what can I do, how can I help? So we also provide support and follow-up, and I'll touch on that a little more in a second. So our training is a series of 3 90-minute live webinars taught by our founder, Dan Cohen, and that's held once a month. That will help you create a facility-ready iTunes library, efficiently manage many participants' playlists, handle equipment and security concerns, integrate personalized digital music into daily care plans, and how to evaluate the program's effectiveness, as well as to grow and sustain your program beyond. What does it cost? If you're outside this CAHF project, the average cost for a center to become involved with Music and Memory and become certified and initiate a program on its own is about $2,275. That's training, equipment, doesn't include a dedicated computer, which you get in this program and is absolutely a best practice. Like I said, these costs will all be covered if your center is part of this project. There is an annual $200 renewal fee that's not currently covered by the grant, and that ensures your access to the following. Upon completion of the certification training, you'll receive our Getting Started guide, Getting Started with Music and Memory guide, as well as access to our new community care portal, which is an online secure portal. Your primary contact at your facility will get an invitation to this, and then they can invite other members of the team. And this has a pretty dynamic collection of ever-growing and evolving resources, quick reference guides, marketing, fundraising tools, customizable flyers. We have logistics covered, including handling of equipment, tracking forms, storage help, security ideas, tips for managing and protecting the music library, guidelines, music usage guidelines, community engagement tools. We have peer-to-peer and hosted forums and groups for discussion. We also have, this gives you access to our monthly, now this is optional, from Music and Memory National. We host monthly topic calls hosted by our regional directors or special guests. And some of those are on how to engage family in the program, we have a whole one that's just an hour and a half, I think it's an hour, on integrating music and memory in your care plans, how to be a music detective, how to develop a personalized playlist for someone who's nonverbal. Those are hosted monthly, and they're all also available online anytime for your own access. In addition, we just added an optional specialized specific iTunes training. So if you have someone on your team who really wants to dive in and get more detailed, or you don't have someone who's an iTunes pro, we've got you covered. And this webinar is actually online, and it's not live, so it's available 24/7. And we also have another one that is a series of videos specifically speaking to and from CNAs, and that's also available 24/7. So I want to hit the two of the top questions, time and loss. So time, the question is always, how will I find the time? How will I find the time? And one of the common things we hear after implementation is, wish we had discovered this program sooner. I'm not going to lie and say that there's no investment in the beginning. There's definitely some investment in laying your foundation, getting those first playlists together, but every time you get one, you just build on something. So there's a start, but we have a lot of tools to help you get yourself going. So it's really not that much of a problem, and you have an opportunity here to make things a little smoother too. That morning, when you're getting someone ready in the morning, it's taking 45 minutes because there's such anxiety, there's such agitation. Take the iPod in there 15 minutes early, put on their favorite music. And I know places that have watched stressful engagements and stressful times turn into calm, smoother, more pleasant interactions for everyone. The next concern, problems with loss or theft. And same there, I'm not going to say that they'll never get lost, but really what we do with our training, we have a lot of techniques and best practices in the webinars to prevent theft. And I think with nearly 3,800 organizations doing this, it really hasn't been a big problem, and no reason to stop. So in my last couple minutes here, I'm going to hit how to make the best of our certification training. I mean, you're doing your first part by being here today, and then the next part will be Music and Memory's 3 90-minute webinars that I discussed. So you can access the Preparing for Certification guide that's actually available as a document on this webinar. And it's also at the CAHF Music and Memory page. And this is Preparing for Music and Memory Certification. And this is best practices from the field. There's also actually an optional webinar on this topic if you want to take it through our website as well. But what it really hits is kind of our key best practices, and sort of touches on the common stumbling blocks if you want to check those out. So getting ready to make the most of the certification training, I suggest educate yourself. You're doing that by being here, but you can also go to CAHF's website and learn more there, and also to Music and Memory's website. So it's musicandmemory.org. You have a resources tab under training and publications. We also have research under the Music and Brain resources. We have a really fantastic blog with some wonderful stories nationwide of different implementations and different success stories and challenges. And I also suggest to watch the documentary Alive Inside, which is available on Netflix, and that is really incredible. It's a wonderful movie and sort of the story of music and memory and how it got started. So going into it, gaining support, engaging your staff, buy-in from residents, start sharing this. We can share that leadership video. That's on our YouTube channel. You can find it here on this slide too. As you're going forth, really you want all your employees to be aware of the program, perhaps through in-service training, building enthusiasm, sharing the videos from our homepage from Music and Memory. We have the 6-minute video of Henry that we didn't show today, but we usually do. And that's a 6-minute quick, that's Alive Inside and the Music and Memory program in a 6-minute nutshell. So I say planning your webinar training setup. Your lead organizer will receive an invitation via email and a link to participate. They'll be given a conference access number, and I want to just make the point that the audio is transmitted through your phone, not through the computer. So they'll be reminding you that, but I'm reminding you here. So the webinar can be done individually, but a group setting is great. Use a projector. Remember, the sound comes from the phone. Use a speaker with clear audio to project the sound. And like I said, don't think small. Think big. We have some requirements for team members on this CAHF project, but like I said, when I talked about who can be involved, we can really, really open it up, and as many as you want can participate in the training. So that's that. Congratulations. You've made the first step by being here today. And thank you. I'm going to pass this back over. And there we go.
Thanks, Letitia. Thank you so much. So we have found that it is a bit confusing to our participants in terms of having the 3 entities involved: Music and Memory National, CAHF, Music and Memory Project, and UC Davis. So if we're hitting, if we're being a little repetitive, it's because we know for some folks it's confusing and we really understand. I just want to give you a quick sketch of how CAHF came to be involved in this. And this music, or the documentary that Letitia mentioned, Alive Inside, if you haven't seen it, came out a couple of years ago, won an award at the Sundance Film Festival because it's an amazing piece of entertainment. It's very moving, and it's worth watching if you haven't seen it. And as Letitia said, you can buy a copy on Amazon, about $50, but if somebody has a Netflix subscription, you can watch it on demand. But our licensing and certification, the director and the deputy director saw Alive Inside a couple of years ago and heard their counterparts from Wisconsin talking about the project they were doing, and they came back to California and asked CAHF to apply for a civil monetary penalty grant, which is, you probably don't really need to know that, but you might be happy to know that it's the fines that CMS collects from nursing homes and hospitals, goes into a fund, and it's federal monetary penalties, but the state of California administers that money, and CMS has said that can be used for quality improvement projects. So that's what funded this grant. And what Gina Iacino and Scott Vavona of licensing wanted to do is get Music and Memory out there to skilled nursing, as many in California as they could. So when they approached us to take on the grant, because I'm someone that spent 40 years in long-term care, I really felt strongly that we needed to do more than just buy equipment and training for nursing homes, because that kind of stuff goes awry very quickly. What we needed to do was help nursing homes adopt a quality improvement approach to a person-centered project like this. So I reached out to my colleagues at UC Davis and asked them if we could design a project that would kind of build this practice, this strategy, this set of skills in the nursing homes that we were giving the money or the equipment and the training to be able to sustain the music and memory and use it for any approach they wanted to do for a project. So next slide. So we've been, let's see now, in August it'd be 2 years since we were funded. It was a 3-year grant, and the first phase was 50 skilled nursing. We piloted our research component, we piloted our processes for getting you equipment and getting you signed up for training. And so lucky you weren't in the first phase, because it was a little more rocky than than it is now. We've definitely done our own quality improvement. Phase 2 started last summer, and that's 150 skilled nursing facilities, and you've applied for the final phase, which is 100 skilled nursing facilities. So all in total that's 300 nursing homes, and because we're asking you to implement it with 15 residents, that's 4,500 residents that are going to benefit from this grant. Quick question then, and I think Amanda will open the poll, and all you've got to do is click yes or no. And the first question is internet available in your center in a resident area? If you'll quickly answer that, I'd appreciate it. Simple yes or no. What do we have, Amanda?
We have about 84% saying yes and 16% saying no.
Okay. The reason we ask that is Amanda's going to go over all the things you get by joining this project, but one of them is a Wi-Fi enabled laptop computer dedicated to your project, and this equipment is yours to keep once you're in the project, but our idea is that you will be using internet to download the music, so having it in a resident area will help you in terms of the assessment that you'll want to do, trying different tunes out with them. And then the second part of the question is Wi-Fi available in your facility? And a simple yes or no.
Yeah, about 93% saying yes and
Okay.
7% saying no.
Okay. So the reason I asked that question is, as Letitia mentioned, we've seen residents at every level of impairment benefit from music and memory, and some people have not been able to leave their beds in years, and maybe in hospice, maybe very physically disabled. And so being able to go to their bedside with the laptop would be handy instead of just bringing them to like a internet cafe area of your center. But you can make this work because you will support you even if you can't access internet in resident areas. We'll figure it out, but you'll need to be using internet to build your music library. So what we have done, we have created a structure here. Letitia said we've kind of got a standard in terms of the states that are doing that, because we want this project to start and sustain. And so we also believe strongly this is not an activity program alone. Many of our centers are using activities to be the lead. That's fine. But as Letitia mentioned, we see therapeutic value in the music. Things like fall reduction, because someone has their music, someone who's not aware of the safety issues and don't know how long they've been waiting for you and get up every 10 minutes. But when they've got their music on, maybe they'll sit quietly for 20 minutes. we've seen people's appetite benefit and their food intake benefit, because they're one of those folks with dementia who wants to get up and leave the table, and it's really hard to get them to stay and eat. But with the music, you know, they'll stay longer. So we need nursing to be involved, at least to help make sure the music is getting to those folks who can most benefit. And we know that executive leadership has to support this. It's going to take some time. We're not going to lie to you. You're going to be spending some time on this project, especially initially, and you need to be supported by leadership to do that. So we're asking for 5 of your staff to go through the certification, those 3 90-minute webinars, and they should include, as you see on your slide, someone from executive leadership, someone from nurse leadership, someone from activities, a CNA, because face it, folks, they're the ones that are going to be at the resident's elbow and remembering to get the music at those moments outside of the activity room. And then the other one can be any staff you choose or a volunteer. So that's the minimum, as Letitia said, for the year that you're in our project. Everyone in your staff can go through the 3 webinars because they're offered monthly, and they're free to you. All you got to do is sign up with Amanda. You'll be required, as part of agreeing to be in this project, to implement music and memory with a minimum of 15 residents. They, you know, hopefully some, if not most of them, will be having a diagnosis of dementia or mental illness or some other social or physical challenges. The dialysis was mentioned by Letitia. That's a great example of someone who may not have dementia, but they have to face this really dreary 3-hour session or 6-hour session several times a week. So we expect you to implement it with 15 residents, because we're giving you 15 iPods, and Amanda will talk a little bit more about that, and that you will create an individualized plan of care for them that encompasses the music and memory in a high value way. And then the 5 employees I already mentioned would go through the webinar. Again, just a minimum. You also, by agreeing to participate in this this project, will be participating in our research, and Deborah Bakurjian is going to cover that in just a second. So we ask you to do your best to get the data into us. We're showing the Department of Public Health the response and the things we're learning about nursing homes in their own work processes that will support a project like this to be successful. And the research is important. And we also ask if by some chance one of these little tiny shuffles, which if I'd known how small they were before I started the project, I think I would have gone with iPods, but they're little. It's easy to imagine one might go to the laundry, so we ask you to replace that one. They're about $50. But we don't want you to stop with 15 either. We're providing this as a seed to grow this project in your center, and through donations or family members, hopefully you can spread it to more than 15. By the way, if one of the 15 in your initial group leaves, we ask you to keep the shuffle and assign it to a new resident, so that you will again have a minimum of 15, and then you'll learn in the certification training how to erase the music that's programmed into it and add new music. By the way, very important, we want you to do this right. We don't care if you do it fast. So if it takes you 6 months to get all 15 up and going, it takes you 6 months. We want you to select the 15 before you get started, but it doesn't mean you have to get them all started in the actual care plan aspects of this project all at once. You can budget your time in a way that works for you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Bakurjian to go over the research component. Yeah,
Thank you, Jocelyn.
you're welcome.
Let me make sure I've got control here.
Should be good to go.
As Amanda said, it is lagging a little bit. It takes a little time to get it going here. While we're waiting for that to happen, just let me add my appreciation that you're all on this call. I can tell you that this has been such an exciting and fulfilling project. Like Jocelyn, I've been around the skilled nursing home industry for 30 plus years, approaching 40 years, and it's just heartening to see that a project like this can make such a huge difference in our residents' lives and the lives of the staff as well. And as a member of the research team, it's really important for us to try to capture all of that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing, and hope that you all will fully engage with the research process. So the research component is actually embedded in the overall CAHF Music and Memory project. The overarching objective of the project and our research is really to improve dementia care in California skilled nursing facilities. The research component focuses on how nursing homes actually implement the music and memory program. So we're trying to collect information from each of you about how you're doing it, what is working, what doesn't work for you, what processes are you challenged with or struggling with, and what great innovative ideas that you might come up with that we can then share with other people. Because music and memory is one project, and as you all know, we in nursing homes do many things over the course of the years, and if we can figure out ways to do this in a really strong implementation process, we can use that information for other projects as well. We're also interested, obviously, in how the residents respond to the music and memory program. Do we see differences in the quality of their life? Are they using fewer antipsychotics or antidepressant medications? Are they more engaged with family? Are they having less weight loss? And so we're going to be collecting some of that information from you through MDS data that you already collect. And as Jocelyn indicated, that we hope that you're going to take on this project as if it was quality improvement. And you all know that later on this year, everybody's going to be required to get their QAPI program up and running and actually doing something. This is a perfect vehicle because we basically provide you with all of everything that you need in order to make this a strong QAPI or quality improvement project. It's already been mentioned, and I'll just reiterate that CAHF is the lead organization for this project here in California. They will recruit and enroll, and that's why you're here. They fund all of the certification and the equipment. What UC Davis has done is to design and are conducting the research. As an independent research team, we conduct the research component, and as part of that, we'll be communicating with all of you on a relatively regular basis. We do that by email, through webinars. We have this webinar. We also have a webinar around QAPI. We have office hours. We have technical assistance webinars. So we hope to be talking to you multiple times across the project. We also have may contact you by telephone, and I'll talk about some of the types of research that we're doing a little bit later. We want to be able to share expectations for your participation, the data collection, and the overall research project process. We have developed a customized QAPI tool. We are going to make that available to some of the participants in the project, and I'll explain how we're going to do that in a few minutes. And then we also collect and analyze the information that has been submitted. Everyone who is enrolled in the CAHF Music and Memory Project are automatically enrolled in the research component. And what we want to do is refer you to that participation agreement for the enrollment requirements and the research information summary. That document you can download here, and I think that Amanda talked about that earlier, that you might want to follow along with that. Everything that I'm going to talk about is in that research information summary, and we hope that by being here on this conference call that you will get excited about the project and you will continue on with us. So what can you expect to happen? As part of the enrollment process, before you're actually enrolled, you have submitted some information about your nursing home, and that is really embedded in that participation agreement and the research information summary. In addition to that, if you decide to continue on, we will send out an enrollment survey. The enrollment survey is pretty straightforward, and I'm going to talk about the participation agreement and enrollment survey here. The participation agreement is where the administrator or the executive director commits your nursing home to participate and submit data. It authorizes us as the research team to actually collect that data and analyze it. In the process of collecting the data, just to make sure everybody understands this, that we do not collect any individualized names of residents, so all of the data is sort of aggregated together. So we'll know that, you know, a nursing home has 15 residents that are participating, and for that nursing home, so many residents are spending this amount of time. So it's kind of aggregated data and not something that we're going to share individual resident information with anyone. The enrollment survey is giving us general information, facility information about your nursing home. How many beds you have, for example, is one of the questions that we ask. We ask some general information about your staffing. For example, if you're a nursing home that actually employs physicians or nurse practitioners or physician assistants, where you have that kind of clinical staff model, or not. So we ask you those kinds of things. We're also going to ask you about your previous experience with quality improvement. Once you have enrolled in the project, we will randomly assign you to either an intervention or a control group. Now, as Jocelyn said, our expectation is that you will be using sort of a QI process, and we're saying QAPI because that's the standard now. A QAPI approach to implementing your music and memory in your nursing home. And along that regard, we are going to provide for you QAPI at a Glance and the HSAG QAPI Companion, both of which are publicly available documents, but we'll be sending those to you. We will also have some members, some nursing homes who will be randomly assigned to the intervention group. The intervention group will receive our UC Davis QAPI tool. And if you are in the research group or in the intervention group, we will have a special 1-hour webinar for you to learn about that tool and how to use it. If you are in the control group, the data that we get from you is equally as important, because you will have your own ways that you go about implementing and providing care, and we want to understand that, because at minimum it will help improve the tool that we are trying to develop, and it will also help us to better understand any challenges that you're having along the way. Everybody at the end of the project will receive the copy tool that we've developed, and it says at the completion of phase 2, but actually it will actually be at the end of the entire project in phase 3. After enrollment, we will collect a variety of data, and one of the things that we're going to do is to collect select information, not the entire MDS, but some information from the MDS. And in general, that information are things like depression, behaviors, whether people have challenges with behaviors, whether they're taking antipsychotics. That's the type of information that we're collecting. We're also going to be sending you a survey that asks about how you're implementing music and memory. That will all be done by survey, so it's pretty easy to answer these questions. We're also hoping that we can get a goodly number of you to participate in a telephone interview. We've learned a lot from the interviews because there's just certain things that we can't ask you in a survey that are individualized to your particular nursing home. So when you get that request from us, we ask you please respond favorably to participate in the interviews. Some of the interviews end up being 20 to 30 minutes. Some of them are a little longer, but we will take as much time as you have to share with us to learn about how you're doing with your music and memory program. The type of information specifically that we collect on implementation and MDS survey. So I mentioned on the MDS that we're going to collect that right at the beginning. So we get baseline MDS. You select your 15 residents that you believe are going to participate in the program, and we ask you to send their baseline MDS information prior to them actually starting on the music and memory program. So it would be the most recent MDS done. Then after that time, we're going to, on a quarterly basis, send you a survey that asks you information about implementation of music and memory and an update of that quarter's MDS. And as you know, every quarter you update MDS information for your residents. So for those 15 residents, we're asking you to update that on a quarterly basis. As Jocelyn mentioned, if somebody drops out for any reason at all, we want you to reassign that iPod and headset to another resident, so that resident would then take the place of the resident who leaves. Again, we're asking you implementation. How are you getting music and memory started? What resources are you using? What's resident response? What's the staff response? Those sorts of things. We're going to send you a tracking tool for the MDS. It's going to be very important to not lose that tracking tool. It will be useful for you to use it online, make a couple of backup copies of it, because it's going to be critical for you to track those residents once you've assigned them. Again, on the telephone interviews, we hope to have 60 nursing homes participate. We'll spend, up to an hour, but most of these interviews have not taken that long. And we interview the entire team if they can be there, and occasionally there are 3 or 4 or 5 people on the call, and for others only 1 or 2 or have participated. So either way, that will work. We will send you an invitation for that. Our purpose for the interviews is to really capture a much broader range of information than we can do from the survey. And this is where you really can get in and talk about your personalized approaches to things, or a specific problem that has worked well, a specific problem that you've had and how you've come about a resolution to that problem. So it does take time to participate in research. Many of you have participated in the past. We've tried to make this as painless as possible. We think it will take about 20 to 25 minutes for your enrollment survey. That will be only the first first time just as you get started. It'll take about an hour for you to gather your information and enter your information for the baseline MDS data. Again, it's all done through an online survey. And then each quarter after that, it will take 2 to 3 hours to do the combined implementation and MDS survey. And really, when you think about that, that's only 1 hour a month on average. So it's not a huge amount of time. And this information, as we're gathering and sort of analyzing all of the data that we get, this information is going to make a big difference in the future of how we start to make recommendations and how we standardize the CAHF program, how we, what we learn in terms of what music and memory might do in terms of helping residents improve their quality of life. And again, the 30 to 60 minutes for the interviews. Your enrollment in the CAHF project is completely voluntary, but once you do enroll in the project, the research is a part of the project. Submitting the information that we request for the study is going to be deemed your consent to participate in data submission, reiterating again that your data will be kept confidential. There are minimal risks to this project, and neither the nursing homes or employees will personally benefit directly. However, the feedback that we've gotten from staff is that it's been very positive in terms of just in general, the overall ability to have residents who maybe historically have presented challenging behavioral issues really improve with this project. Privacy and confidentiality is really important, and so we do everything to try to maintain confidentiality. If we are required by law to release information, we have to follow that. But the data are all password protected. It's kept in locked files. We're not sharing with anybody without your consent. And we will certainly notify you if your data is disclosed in any way by accident. Once the authorized representative signs, that indicates that you all understand that you are, that there is a research component of the Music and Memory project and that you agree to participate. You're authorizing us to request data from you and for your facility to submit the data. That we will be corresponding with you and you're authorized as an authorized representative and anyone you designate that we can talk with. And historically, most people are giving us a couple, 2 to 3 to 4 names that we can communicate with. You're also, we're asking that if for some reason somebody either leaves the facility or goes out on leave for whatever the reason, that you please let us know who is the next person who will take over after they leave. I'm the principal investigator. This is how you can reach me. My co-investigator, Elena Siegel, many of you have already spoken to her, and if you are doing any of the interviews, you may speak to her in the future. And then here's information about your rights. If you have any questions about your rights as a participant in research, here's the information that you can reach out to and ask. And then again, the IRB, or the Institutional Review Board, has reviewed all of our protocols to make sure that we are providing the process in a way that's acceptable for research. You can go to their website if you wanted to know additional information there. And we have a wonderful project manager. Her name is Kristen Batega. And in the future, you will hear her on some of our webinars and our office hours. This is how you would reach her, the telephone number, and also her email address. So again, thank you. We really appreciate you considering your participation in this fantastic project, and we are standing by ready to learn from all of you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Bakerjian. So So I'm going to talk about requirements and next steps, and just to kind of reiterate where we are. Anybody that got on a little late, we've heard from Letitia Rogers with Music in Memory, the national program based out of New York, and heard about what Music in Memory is, what it can do. We've heard from Jocelyn Montgomery, who is the project director here at CAHF, and she spoke briefly about the CAHF project and some of its details and requirements. And then we heard from, of course, Dr. Bakurjian, who talked about the research component. So covered a lot of ground today, a lot of information. I sure hope you're holding your questions till the end, because I don't see that we have any yet. But if you have them, please ask. Any of us are more than happy and willing to answer them. But we'll jump right in then to discussion of requirements and next steps. So we'll start with the polling question. I'm going to open it up here. This is our last question, and the question is on your screen. It's a yes or no question. Have you ever used SurveyMonkey? So those of you who may answer no, SurveyMonkey is an online polling platform. It's an online survey tool. Very similar to actually what you're doing right now, which is clicking a button and indicating your response. So it looks to me that we're about split. About 50% of you have used it, 50% of you have not, which actually is very common when we ask this question. It's about 50-50. So those of you who are answering no, do not fear. You are not alone, and it's also the survey platform that UC Davis uses is very similar to SurveyMonkey in that you are just entering information with the click of your mouse, entering information on your keyboard. So very user-friendly, very easy to use. So never fear. Thanks for answering, everybody. So eligibility. All California nursing homes are eligible for this project. And there are a couple exceptions to eligibility, including long-term care hospitals, as well as facilities that would provide care primarily for folks with intellectual disabilities. I hear this a lot. We're not a CAHF member, so we can't apply. That is not true. Not true at all. If you are not a member of CAHF, that is just fine. You can still apply for this project. You can still, you know, take part in this awesome opportunity. So what do you get? What are we going to give you to participate? We're going to certify you and a minimum of 5 employees, the employees that Jocelyn Montgomery talked about earlier, the executive, your nursing, your CNA activities, and 1 other staff of choice. We're going to certify those folks to be Music in Memory certified. And that certification is good for your building for up to a year at no cost to you. So what that means is for a year, you can certify as many staff in your building as you would like at no cost to you. Now, as Letitia mentioned, you might remember if you were to do this on your own, you would be looking, you know, at a cost upwards of perhaps $2,000. Through this project, by participating in this project, you don't incur that cost. We will cover that for up to a year for as many staff as you would like to put through. And again, that 5 employees that Jocelyn mentioned is just a minimum. That's just our requirement, but you can certify everyone in your building, everyone in your building. We're going to give you equipment. We're going to give you the 15 iPod shuffles. We're going to give you 15 sets of headphones. We're going to give you AC adapters or chargers, 2 splitters so that 2 residents or perhaps a staff member and a resident could listen to 1 iPod at the same time. We're going to give you a handheld speaker. We know a lot of folks don't respond well to the headphones, so a way around that is to use the speaker. So we'll purchase one of those for you. This is really great. We're going to give you a laptop computer. This way, this computer is solely dedicated to your Music in Memory program. You can store tracking forms on it. You can download iTunes, store all your music. You can download CDs. You know, this is for your Music in Memory program, and you don't have to be using other departments' computers or laptops. This is yours for this project, for this program. And then we're also going to give you a $75 iTunes gift card because in the beginning, as you're downloading music, you know, it adds up. So we want to be able to give you something to start with. So we'll give you $75 in a gift card. Also worth mentioning, the laptop that we're going to purchase you will come with a 2-year Best Buy Geek Squad warranty. I'm sure everyone has a Best Buy in their town or at least near their town. So if something would go wrong, you have that 2-year warranty just in case. As Jocelyn had also mentioned, this equipment is yours to keep at the end of the project. We don't want it back. We want you to keep it. We want you to use it. And we want you to expand on your already stellar music and memory program. Lastly, we are, as Dr. Vikurjian mentioned, going to provide you with a quality assurance performance improvement guide that will enhance your implementation of your program going forward. So what do you have to do? You're excited, you want to participate, what's the next step? Well, most of you have already completed the participation agreement and research information summary. If for any reason you haven't, you can find it in the handout section, or you can go to CAHF.org, CAHF.org, fill it out, it's 8 pages, and then what you'll want to do is scan and email it back to me, or you can also fax it. Your second step then would be to, which most of you are doing today, is to have a minimum of your authorized representative, your primary lead, and your alternate lead attend this orientation webinar. Now there may be some of you on today saying, you know, shoot, my primary lead couldn't get on, you know, they weren't able to make it. So what we're going to do, we're going to be recording, we are recording today. We're going to put this webinar up online so that anybody who missed it today can access it. So I'll be sending you an email with information on how to do that if for any reason one of these 3 folks was unable to attend. Something I didn't put in here, but there I guess would be a step before I get to this enrollment survey step, is it's really, really important, very important that you let me know that you attended. At the end of the webinar, I'll put my email address up again, but just shoot me an email, let me know. That way I then can give you credit for attendance, and that's my green light to let UC Davis know to send you that enrollment survey that Dr. Vikurjian was talking about, which would then be your 3rd step. So in between the webinar and the enrollment survey, really important to send me the names of those in attendance today. So we'll get to a diagram in just a second that kind of outlines these steps, but it's really, really important that you're submitting the enrollment survey as soon as possible, because we've got some June certification webinars coming up. I want to say the 13th, 14th, and 15th of June is when Music and Memory National holds their June certification webinars, which would then make you Music and Memory certified. So that's coming up soon. But before we can even get you registered for those, you must submit that enrollment survey to UC Davis. And it should only take about 20 to 25 minutes to complete. You know, real fast. It's you know, information that that UC Davis is asking, really easy information, so it shouldn't take too long, and it just does need to happen before we can get you certified. So as you can see, there's a lot of kind of steps involved in this, and hopefully this diagram kind of lays it out for you. It just kind of details what I just talked about, but if you look on this second one, we'll go to the certification. So what happens once you're certified? Oh good, it is the June 13th, 14th, and 15th are the certification webinars. You'll have your team of 5 or more complete those, and then you're going to get that equipment that I talked about. And then you're going to start your first round of baseline data to UC Davis. So hopefully those 2 diagrams kind of give you a step-by-step. But if you have any questions about what to do next, where you are at in the process, anything at all, please reach out to me. I am happy to answer your questions for you. Which is a great segue into questions. Please answer them. If you answer them, ask them. If you look on your screen, there's a right-hand side, there's a questions bar. If you just type them in, go ahead and we will answer them one by one. And while I'm pulling that up, if there's anything that our panelists want to kind of cover or go over real quick, please feel free to do so. Pull this out.
I have a quick comment. Just reiterating what everyone said about kind of going beyond your 15. There are places, because of a lot of state programs, a lot of average places have 16, 15 iPods in use, but there are just places that don't stop. They find their way to grow, and there are a couple of places we know that have 100% access. So everyone in their facilities, some places have 60 iPods, some places have grown to 200 iPods. So sky's the limit beyond this. And I want to add one other, maybe give a little story about a dedicated laptop that can part of what you want is really, you want to be agile, and a dedicated computer really allows you to do that. I mean, you're really having it's a great opportunity to get something like that. Someone at a VA home just shared with me this last week that they have a hospice wing, and she was working with mostly the community home, and she said one of their doctors kind of like ran over and said, hey, I know you've got this program going on. I've got a veteran who's at the end, and he loves Mozart, and his wife is there. Can we get an iPod? And so she just immediately went and loaded their iPod. She said, I had it, and I got some extra pieces because there was some specific Mozart that the wife said that he loved. So she was able to put it on an iPod, get it right to them, and get it right back to the staff. And she said the whole staff breathed a sigh of relief, and this gentleman passed away listening to his favorite Mozart with his wife. That's a little heartbreaking, but we want to be able to move quickly and give this music to people when it's most helpful, not when it's on our schedule or when it's convenient necessarily, but we want to really be able to go to that person, bring it to them, and give the gift as quickly as we can, I think.
Thanks, Letitia. Yeah, absolutely. We do have some questions. Great. Good. Keep typing them in. Keep asking. We want to answer them. Freddie asked, will this slideshow be available for us to print out? Absolutely. It's in your handout section, Freddie. If you look on the right side of your screen, you can print it out there, but it will also be available on the CAHF website, CAHF.org. Barbara would like to know, will we be given the contact information for each department? I'm not sure, Barbara, what you're referring to. Are you referring to you're speaking of the three different entities that are on the phone or that are on the call today? I know that Letitia had a contact slide, UC Davis did, and my contact slide as well as Jocelyn's are up on the screen right now. But if that does not answer your question, oh good, it did. Yes, that is so. Print out the PDF of the slides, and that's and you'll have everyone's contact information. Or go back. Leanne would like to know, what do we do if we are new to the department and the old director had started the program? Leanne, I might reach out to you kind of offline because I'm curious what your building is, where you're located, and kind of how far along you are. Jocelyn, did you want to take that?
I mean, if your center started the program outside of our grant, because I think when we started our grant, I think there were 80 or 100 certified nursing homes in California that had just done this on their own, you're still eligible to get in our project and get the funding for the additional 15. If your predecessor enrolled in this project, just reach out to Amanda. We'll figure out how to catch you up. Yeah. No problem. We'll support you to move on from wherever you are.
And it looks like, Leanne, you had a follow-up question saying we still have the equipment, so I guess you are part of this project, perhaps, but 5 iPods were lost. How do we move forward? I'll connect with you, Leanne. Yeah, let's connect offline. I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, and you can also, if you need to pull me in, so this is a program that was started without the CAHF grant and is actually just separately started the program. Fill me into, or I can help.
Yeah, it sounds like they're in our grant, but had a change of staff.
Douglas. Douglas would like to know, we are a smaller facility with a SNF and RCFE with a memory care unit. Can we have a couple of residents in our memory care unit participate in this program? This would then mean that they will not have MDS completed.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that. We are funded through a specific grant that requires this money go for skilled nursing facility residents. That said, if you join the project and you enroll 15 of your residents in the skilled nursing side, all of your assisted living staff can go through the certification. All of them can access your iTunes account, your card, and the library can be shared within the center if there's someone who has similar tastes. So you've got a great head start for getting this going with the residents you want to use it within your assisted living, but we can't allow the 15 setups. We need you to submit data on 15 residents in your skilled nursing.
Yeah. Barbara, I hope that I answered your question. I think you had continued by saying, are they in the handouts? So yes, contact information is in the handouts, as well as the PDFs of the slides. But if you have any questions, my email's at the bottom here. You can reach out to me and I can certainly connect you with whoever you're looking for. Carolyn, when is the notification of the next webinars? Now, I'm assuming you're talking about the certification webinars, which is June, what did I say, 13th, 14th, and 15th, from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Okay, something to just kind of put in the back of your head, put those on your calendar perhaps. Those are the dates for June, but as I mentioned, there's a couple things that you'll need to complete before you can get registered for those. So maybe just set those dates aside, remember them, put them on your calendar, and then be sure to not only send me your list of attendance today, but also get that enrollment survey in as soon as possible, and that way we can get you signed up.
If for some reason you absolutely could not make the June, they repeat again in August. Or if all of your five can't, I'm sorry, July. If all of the five can't make it in June, as many of them as possible, get them on and we'll get you the equipment, and then the other three can go, let's say it was 2 and 3, could go through the following month.
Yeah, that's something I kind of glossed over, but Music and Memory holds the same 3 certification webinars monthly. So if for, a lot of people get confused and say, okay, well, I need to attend these 3 in June and these 3 in July and these 3 in August, and I need to do this every month. That's not necessarily true. You certainly can. There's nothing wrong with attending every month, if you'd like to, but it's the same 3 webinars every month. So basically what you would do is, certify your core group of 5 in those initial webinars, and then, perhaps the next month you want to put through 2 or 3 additional staff, maybe some family members, maybe some volunteers, and you can do that for up to a year at no cost to you. So same webinars, same 3 webinars every month. Rebecca would like to know, can we change any of the names that were originally submitted? For example, the nursing lead. I'll take that one, Rebecca. Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that turnover happens. We know that people leave, people come, people go. So anytime that you have any change to those 5 staff members or your authorized representative or your primary lead or your alternate lead, I guarantee it's going to happen. Anytime that happens, just let me know. A change in staff is absolutely fine. Just shoot me an email, let me know. Denise, these are great questions, you guys. Thank you for asking questions, because these are all really good questions. Denise wants to know, who do we have to email at the end that we attended the webinar? Denise, that's me, Amanda Davidson. On the bottom of the screen there, you'll see my email. And I'm so glad that you brought this up again, because anybody that joined late, really, really important that you shoot me an email and let me know that you attended. Because I don't have any way of knowing if you did or not, but I will if you send an email to adavidson@cahf.org and let me know, and that way you get credit. Okay, moving on. We got about 5 more minutes. Maria would like to know, where is the enrollment survey located? Dr. Bakurjian, would you like to talk about the enrollment survey a little bit?
I'm sorry, I just missed part of that. I had a little static. Can you repeat that question?
Maria wanted to know, where is the enrollment survey located?
Where is it located? Well, we will send a link with the enrollment survey. So once you have enrolled and you are moving forward, you will get a link. And when you get that email with the link, when you click on the link, the survey will open up as if it were like a Survey Monkey, and you just answer the questions based on your knowledge of your facility. So it will come to you.
Thank you. And Maria, before you are able to get that enrollment survey, what I need from you, really important, is the names of the folks that attended the webinar today. Because if you go back to that kind of timeline, that visual timeline that I was talking about, you'll see the steps, and the step before you getting that enrollment survey sent to you is to let us know that your authorized representative, your primary lead, and your alternate lead were able to attend the project orientation webinar that you're on today. So kind of a step-by-step process. Let me know, shoot me an email if you have any questions about that. Aaron wants to know, facilities already certified and paid cost of joining Music and Memory previously, could those receive an extra iTunes gift card when equipment is sent to the facilities in study besides what is already being sent? Earlier in the webinar, it was stated that new facilities not certified yet are having the Music and Memory fee waived. The buildup of iTunes Music accounts are always needed.
We will discuss that with you. Make sure, Amanda, do you know who it is?
Aaron Cole, yes I do. Yeah. I'll reach out to you.
It's possible, Aaron, but I want to make sure you have the 5 minimum certified and, yeah, I'll have to discuss this further with you and Amanda. Okay. We'll get back to you.
Barbara, do new leaders added later need to attend the orientation webinar? Great question. Sure. Why not? It's going to be recorded and it'll be online.
It's not a requirement.
It's not, yes. But why not? I mean, what a better way to introduce them to this project than to watch this project orientation webinar.
I want to mention too the question about the iTunes card. Amanda, through some wonderful volunteers, has amassed and cataloged over 1,000 CDs, cataloged in terms of music genre. Those are free to you. She's going to be sending out that index list, and as long as the facility owns the CD and keeps that CD in the center, that music can be uploaded to your Music and Memory library. And so we have a way to get you more music, even though we may not have another iTunes card. So we'll get that out to you too.
And Harumi would like to know, is it just one survey per facility? And the enrollment survey, yes, it is one enrollment survey per facility. Yeah, unless Dr. Bakurjian has anything to say about that piece.
No, just it's one survey.
Yeah. Okay. These were really great questions. if anybody has questions that they think of kind of after we end, please reach out to me. My email's on the bottom, Amanda Davidson, adavidson@cahf.org. All right. Well, with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended, and thank you to our panelists, and rock and roll, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.